Good day, students. Welcome to basic science lesson. In our previous class, we considered the topic drug abuse. And we were able to look at the meaning of drug abuse. We looked at examples of drugs that are commonly abused, and then we looked at reasons why people abuse drugs, and then we looked at classification of drugs, and then we looked at drug addiction. In our class today, we'll be considering the topic matter. That's our topic for today, matter. By definition, we'll look at the meaning of matter. Matter means something which has weight and occupies space. Matter means something which has weight and occupies space. Anything that has weight and can occupy space is called a matter. For example, in a classroom, when a student sits on a seat, that particular space cannot be occupied by another person because another student have occupied that space. And then by the time that individual that occupies that space is weighed in a balanced weight, that person will have a specific weight. So by this example, it means that we as humans are matters because we have weight and then we occupy space. Examples of matter. Example of matter includes goats, sheep, cows, chickens, plants, stones, tables, pots, and other materials. If you look at this example critically and carefully, you will find out that these examples we have listed comprises of things. All of these examples have weight and they occupy space. And these examples that are listed can either be some are living while some are non-living things. So from this we can say all living and non-living things are made up of matter, because from the above example we find out that some of the examples are living things and while others are non-living things. So all living and non-living things are made up of matter. Classification of matter. Scientists sort a collection of things into two groups or more using a definite identified characteristics. When you place two things or one thing into a group or more, that is called classification. And what we use in placing things into groups is their definite identified characteristics. Looking at the example that we listed above, we listed things like plants, we have goats, we have sheep, we have cow, we have tables, we have stones. These things, we said some of them are living while some are not living. The reason why we call some of those examples living while the others are called not living is because there are particular characteristics that one group exhibits that is different from the other group. For example, movement. Those things that we classified as living can move, while those examples that belong to the non-living cannot move. So you see, the identified characteristic there is movement. For example, the examples of matter listed above comprise of living and non-living things. Each group is formed by sorting similar things together and is called a set. Whenever you sort out similar things together, you call it a set. The process of sorting things into a set is called classification. So when you sort things into a set, you call it classification. And we do that so that we can be able to identify and easily study those particular things we want to study, so that we don't have them modeled together, which makes studying them very difficult. That's why we classify things for easy studying. States of matter. Matter exists in three states, namely solid, liquid, and gas. Matter exists in three states, namely solid, liquid, and gas. Ice is a solid, water is a liquid, and steam is a gas. So the ice from our fridges and freezers, either water, our soup, or food items, when it becomes ice, that is a solid state. Water in the normal form is liquid and steam is a gas. When matter changes from solid to liquid, liquid to gas, or vice versa, it is said to undergo a change of state. Okay, let me explain what this means. Usually, when we have water in the normal form, you fetch it in the container, you put it in the fridge. That water becomes ice, that is solid. When you bring out that water and drop it, after a while, it melts and it goes back to its original state, that is liquid. If in turn, you put that water in a pot and put it on fire and then you heat it, after a while, you begin to see vapor coming out of that pot. That is gas. So water exists in the three states: as solid, as liquid, and as gas, which is what? Steam. So when matter changes from liquid to solid, when it is freeze, it is called a change of state because it's no longer liquid. And by the time you put either that liquid or solid water in a container and you heat it, it becomes a steam or a gas. That is another change of state. So when matter changes from solid to liquid, liquid to gas, or vice versa, it is said to undergo a change of state. Assignment. Before we take our assignment today, we'll look at the recap of what we have done in the form of a summary. We said, looked at the topic matter, and we say matter is anything that has weight and occupies space. Anything that has weight or mass and can occupy space. And then we said all living and non-living things fall or form the examples of matter. Matter can be living and it can be non-living. And we look at some examples of matter. Look at things like stones, we look at tables, we look at plants, we look at chickens, we look at goats and cows as examples of matter. And then we move on to look at states of matter. And we say matter exists in three states: solid, liquid, and gas. And then we said this solid, liquid, and gas can change from one state to another. And we say when that happens, we call it change of state. And we look at example of water. We pick water as an example of a matter that exists in the three states. Water can exist in a solid form, liquid form, and gaseous form. So assignment for today: define matter. That's number 1. Number 2, with the help of 2 name examples, explain the term change of state. With the help of 2 name examples, explain the term change of state. You're going to give me 2 examples of matter that can change from one state to another, and then you use that example to explain the term change of state. 3, list the states of matter. And 4, classify 4 different objects according to their state of matter. So you're going to list 4 different objects and you will tell me whether these objects are solid, liquid, or gas. And this assignment is to be submitted to my personal WhatsApp number that is being displayed on the screen. Have a good day.